everybody, and welcome to the Bitten Apple TV presents Apple Bites. We really have a great show for you today. Unfortunately, Ralph could not make it today. He is working. So what did he do? He called someone in, the superhero of the spin board, the one and only, the phenomenal DJ Show Off to come in and support me today. So, hey, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on?
Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. Are you in your studio right now?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You know, the back cave of music.
I'm so let me tell you something. I'm really honored to have you actually host the show with me. This has been like the first time that I think we've ever done anything like this. We've had you as a guest, but never as, you know, a host.
No, I have never been a host. I've been a guest, which I am happy to be a part of the Forbidden Apple.
The Forbidden Apple. Yes.
The love fest, as I like to call it.
Oh yeah, definitely. One thing that I could say about this this whole arena of what we do, we all make very long-term friendships, and so it's like a family. So he just basically put in, you know, call family and say, hey, you know, I need somebody to support Leslie on the show today, sister on the show today. So here you are.
And he did just that. He was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing. He was like, so Saturday. I'm like, yeah, Saturday what?
That's how he did it?
No, the conversation didn't go exactly like that, but that's the way it kind of went. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, okay, sure, fine, yeah. I'm there.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you were available, because it would have been probably a one-woman show today. But that's over there.
But you're good at that. So you know, I'm come on.
It takes it's a lot of energy.
You are Leslie the Great.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I need you today. You know, pat me on the shoulder and do everything. But so listen, what have you been doing? I know you've been very, 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 very busy.
Trying to stay busy, trying to stay healthy.
Yeah, but you've been doing some work. You've been doing some work for Urban Action Showcase. Yes. You are their official DJ. So, you know, this is, you know, well, let's talk about this first. Before we go any further, we want to, you know, this is Pride Month for us.
Yes.
So, of course, today we're going to feature superheroes from our LGBTQ community. And also, Show and I have something in common when it comes to Pride Month. So, Show, when I first started working at my day job, they needed a DJ. And I hired Show for the event. And I'm going to tell you, they have not stopped talking about how great that party was and how good the DJ was.
I definitely appreciate the love. I appreciate you even reaching out to me. You know, being a DJ is everybody thinks it's an easy job, but it really isn't.
No. But you did, you know, I would say that crowd is a very hard crowd to please, because they are, you know, music, it plays so prominently within that community. And so you had to come with everything. And our show, our particular event was an event that was for Studio 54. It was a Studio 54 event. So not only did you have to play disco, right?
Disco era. And looked the part as well, but we're gonna leave that picture alone.
We all had the froze and the platforms on and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. It really was. I mean, I really appreciate you for that, because that was a great time. But so go ahead. Were you
No. I'm just saying I appreciate you bringing me in and being able to do a good job to make you look good as well.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I had to make sure, you know. I'm sure I was very pestery with you that night. Like,
not even.
Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do this. Change the music. Do this. You know, I didn't mean to be, though. If I was, so
look, it's your job to make sure that everything is done, and you know, because I reflect on you.
Yeah,
you know,
well, you did a great job, though, and it's still very memorable. So you have your radio show that you're doing on Me Radio too. You're still doing that, right?
Yes. I do my radio show. I do my talk show on Mondays called We Rock Together. And then on Wednesdays, I have my open format show called The Session. That's from 7 to 9. And then I do my weekend relax show called Chill Mode on Sundays from 8 to 10.
How do you, I thought I was busy. How do you do all that?
Diligently.
Diligently. I'm sure you're a little bit more organized than I am too, and that's why you're able to do it.
I try, like I tell people, trying to find different music every week to play and keep your audience engaged is not the easiest thing.
No, it's not, especially when you have to do research behind it. So it's really hard. It takes some time, and you want to make sure that you keep, bettering yourself whenever you're doing anything like that, any content. But so I know that you are, you've been working with the Urban Action Showcase. So they Showcase Cinema, and you are their official DJ.
Yes, I've been with them 5 years exactly.
Wow, it's been 5 years. That's how long I think the event has been going on.
It's been going on for 8 years.
Oh, for 8 years, but you've been there for the last 5 years.
I've been there for the last 5.
All right. Well, this is, if you all don't remember, the Urban Action Showcase Cinema is hosted by our friend Demetrius Angelo. And it's an event that we usually go to and physically attend every year. But he has actually mastered this virtual event that is like amazing. I don't know how he does it, but I cannot wait. We're actually going to go live from that event one time, from the virtual event. Here is an event that actually, like we said, that we usually hold it downtown in Manhattan, or uptown in Manhattan, midtown Manhattan.
42nd Street, AMC.
Midtown Manhattan, right, the AMC Theater. But now he's been able to actually capture more of an audience being virtual. And so, whereas some people were restricted by COVID did not stop this. In fact, it increased it to viewership all over the world to over 50,000 people. And this is an event that normally I would say is attended by maybe 1,000 at that. Now he's watching 50,000 people. So, I mean, that's just freaking amazing. So how did you do this in a virtual setting? I'm very curious.
Well, actually, I actually have a virtual DJ booth at the event.
Yeah.
So what I usually do is I control all the music and settings from home, which goes into the virtual world and pushed out to all 50,000 people. Wow. So they can walk around. They can walk around the virtual world looking at different vendors, panels, and so forth, and hear the music that I'm playing as they're walking around, the same way they would at a live convention or expo.
Yeah, that is just, I mean, definitely exactly what we are talking about. That's what I'm saying, that virtual arena, and you can actually create an avatar that looks like you with clothing and everything. I am telling you, it is exceptional. It is exceptional. And I really want to encourage anybody that loves action films to actually participate in any of the events that the Urban Action Showcase is putting on Facebook live when he does it and stuff, and just actually go through the whole module and walk through it and stuff. But right now he's doing Back in Black, and also another event. Back in Black actually has finished.
That was last week. We have another one coming up next weekend, which is the Kung Fu Mac Attack.
Right. Kung Fu Mac Attack. And that actually is going to be he's going to be highlighting Kung Fu movies and films. And you can actually go into the virtual event and probably have guests.
Yes, we do have, he does have guests, and he has a panel all 3 days. And most likely I will either be playing music all 3 days, or at least 2 out of those 3 days.
All right. So I want to encourage you all to go hear DJ show off at the event, the virtual event. Please participate in these events. I mean, they are phenomenal. If you've ever wanted to have access to any of your famous and favorite Kung Fu and action artists, this is the place to do it. And I have actually sat in some of these live events and been able to ask a question. I was very honored, because this is only a world that I only have seen from the cinema and from television. And now I'm in movies. And now, I actually have access to some of these really famous action stars. So phenomenal event. And it's something that promotes urban culture. You learn a lot. They do anniversary events and stuff like that, and hopefully we may be able to see them in I don't know if we're going to go live this November, if the Urban Action Showcase is going to be live.
No, we're not going to be live in November. He's still, from what he's telling me, we're still going to be doing it virtual. I think the only event that we are doing live this year is Comic-Con at the Javits Center.
At the Javits Center, okay, yeah.
Which I'm the only live DJ ever at the Javits Center.
By the way, that's right. The Comic-Con only DJ that, and the music is always bumping whenever you're there. So I really appreciate it. Yes, that he did tell me. I think that we're not going to be there during Urban Action Showcase for November, but the virtual event will be there. And like I said, please check it out. So some other things that you've been telling me about that you were doing. You were telling me that you're supporting an artist, Drea Nicole, right now. You're actually working with her.
Yes.
So tell me, you're doing like a little...
We're doing a mini tour coming up. Actually, this month, we're actually in Texas. And then the month after that, we're in Florida. Month after that, we're in Alabama, Tennessee. And in September, we are in Chicago, Colorado.
Oh, wow. So this is going to be awesome.
Yep.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you doing that traveling and, and what do you usually do for her? Do you just open up and you just, move the crowd?
I'm the official DJ. So I get the crowd started. I make sure her background vocals and everything is clear enough for everybody to enjoy and have fun with.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, we have the police coming. This is because Drea Nicole's picture is hot. That's why. So anyway, but that's good. And then you told me something else too, that you started watching some show on.
Yes, Panic. Oh my goodness, this show is very, very, very good. Quick synopsis. It's about it's a teenage drama series written by Lauren Oliver. She started a novel with the before it became a show. And it's a very good, it's about summer after, it's a bunch of kids the summer after they graduate. They participate in a contest called Panic. And whoever wins Panic wins $50,000, which a lot of them, think it's their way of getting out of this small town of, Texas that they live in. And all of the stunts that are in this are, as you can see in some of the picture, are not your regular average stuff, being buried alive.
Oh, no.
Walking across a plank 50 feet in the sky with nothing at the bottom. Walking on train tracks, rats, and it's just crazy.
Oh no.
But it's a good series.
Oh, well, actually, I did pull up the trailer for the series. You want to take a look, and let's have everybody take a look at it, and let's see what about it. All right, let's share this.
Once upon a time, there was a town, and all of the people were stuck. But one girl was different.
I really need this job.
I'm sorry.
They told her, you'll never leave this place.
So how does he escape?
Are you sure you want to do this, Heather?
There was a game.
It's called Panic.
This year, the winner's going to take home $50,000.
Each year, there are new players, new challenges.
You don't need Panic to go to college.
Yeah, I do.
You could actually win.
Just be careful. Last year, this game put 2 of our kids in the ground, and someone's gonna pay.
Guys?
Starting.
Welcome to First challenge, walk the plank. Let the games begin. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it.
Every player has a story.
You're not afraid.
Well, everybody's afraid of something.
Every player is hiding something.
You and me, we can win this together.
I think someone is trying to fix the game.
You know that the games are organized by judges.
We don't really know who's involved.
Tell me the truth. Why are you playing?
You gotta know what to be afraid of. When to be afraid of it. You gotta know the difference.
Once upon a time, there was a town.
Made of lies.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's when I say it's really good, I binge watched the whole 2 seasons.
Oh my gosh. So essentially what you're trying to say is these kids are trying to get out of this town and they never can get out of this town. And so they end up actually.
They can get out. Everybody is, it's just like school. You know, you got your popular kids, you got your weird kids, you've got your cheerleaders, you know, you've got all that in this town. But a lot of them feel that they're stuck in this town and that's where they're going to stay. So panic in their mind is a way of getting enough money to get out of this town. A lot of them don't need it. Some of them do.
Mhm.
But this is their way of, you know, pushing the limits to what they are able to do and how they're able to do it.
So they win $50,000 if they finish the game. And does the game ever have an end point to it, or does it? I mean, is it several games?
No, it's just like the NBA finals. You know, everything goes to the semifinals till you have your last 4 teams, till you have your last 2 teams, till you have your winner.
Wow. And then that winner gets the $50,000, and then the game starts over again. Am I correct?
Yep. The following year, the following seniors do the game all over, and I think every day they put in money towards the pot for that year for the seniors for the following year.
So hey Nat, and that's one of our crew from Bitten Apple TV. He's at work. So what are there any fatalities, by the way?
Yes, there are there are a lot of twists and turns that definitely have you going out.
Wow. Well, it looks really good. It looks good. So, you know, kudos for, you know, recreating that. Obviously, you got a grown man looking at this, you know, a teenage novel that is really good. And it's obviously must be compelling enough for you to watch it. So
I want, like I said, I watched both seasons, binge watched it because I got caught up in it and was just like, oh, wait a minute. Can't put the remote down. Wait a minute. What happens next? Wait a minute. Who's dying? Who's living? Who?
and there you go down the tunnel.
There you go.
Binge watching. So both you and I, let's move on. Both of you and I watched Loki. So I'm curious, what did you think about the first episode of Loki?
To be honest, at first I was like, oh my God, it's starting off so slow. I was like, come on. We're talking about the God of mischief. Like, why would you not just start off with something that's going to just pull us in and just like, yes.
Right.
But
right.
as it went along, I was like, okay, I think this is something I can get invested in.
Yeah. I agree with you. I felt the same way. It did start off a little slow. I didn't know what was going on, but I have to tell you, this is kind of deep, and it's kind of, in a way, is serious too. We're not going to give too much away because if you haven't watched it, I don't want to do that for you. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I say that if you do feel the same way that it's kind of slow, give it, go keep watching it, and it will pick up. You know, I agree with you on that. I feel like this is such a I will tell you that this deals with timelines. And so this is creating the world that we are waiting for in the Avengers, not the multiverse of Marvel.
There you go.
So we're going to start seeing something from this. And so I'm looking for every clue that could possibly be around so that I can see what they're probably going to be doing with this. What a great start. This was a smart way to start off and recreate the multiverse for Marvel right now. Really good performances. Some of the key people on there. I'm really excited too to see that they have my girl from Lovecraft Country, Mumi Masako, in the show. You know, and she's playing like she's this diesel guard in this show, and she's like no nonsense. But very, very good casting. Even Owen Williams is, you know.
I love his character.
Owen Wilson, sorry.
I love his character because it's not the Owen Wilson that you normally see, the funny. He's more of a straight shooter in this, and that's what I like about it.
Yes, totally the antithesis of what we normally see coming from Owen Wilson. So I can't wait until the next one. I really can't wait. I mean, they left it the way they left it. The possibilities of what is going to happen are endless here, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about this show.
I was happy that they were able to talk about even small parts of the Avengers in it, and that, you know, now you get a better look at everything, and it's like, wow, okay, Loki is coming from a different angle.
Right. It messed with my mind a couple of times too, because there's a scene in there where I'm thinking that it actually happened in the Avengers movie, and my husband and I were sitting there debating. It's like, no, that didn't happen. And I was like, yes, that did happen. He's like, no, that didn't happen. Yeah, that's just him messing with the timeline. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so like confused right now. Now I got to go back and watch the old Avengers movie and actually see what happened there.
Yeah, that's the good part about it. It makes you think, and then it makes you go back to watching, you know, one of the cinematic movies and be like, oh, okay, like, wow, like that's where they're going with this, or maybe that's where they're going with this, because you don't know which direction they're going to push you.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. This is going to be very interesting. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be very interesting. I really loved what I did love about this too, is that there was this Fallout aspect of this show. Fallout, the video game. And I don't know if you've ever played that, but some of the contraptions in this game reminded me so much of Fallout. So I was like, what? This is so cool. This is really cool. So anyway, let's move on. This is, of course, we are celebrating Pride, and we wanted to highlight our superheroes from the LGBTQ community, the heroes of the rainbow. So I did find some people that I did not know were characters. And so I really encourage you, if you are watching this show, to go and look, search out these people and actually read their content. These are people, there's a whole community of LGBTQ superheroes that we really don't know about, that I think that we should really look into and support. So the first one that I came across was a character by the name of Mantra.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Do you know who Mantra is?
I've just started diving into this. I haven't got into it enough to really know the character, but like I said, I just started diving into this. So from what I'm seeing so far, I'm loving the artwork as well as some of the storyline.
Yeah, so Mantra was actually, the character is a comic superhero. It was created by Mike Barr and published by Malibu Comics in the mid-1990s until it was purchased by Marvel Comics. And it led to this cancellation of the character title after 24 issues. Adam Hughes is credited for the character design. But Mantra is an internal warrior named Lucas, and his compatriots had been fighting the villain Boneyard for centuries. And whenever an individual soldier dies, his soul would be placed in a new body and take up the fight once more. So Lucas's leader, Archimage, was betrayed and captured, leading to the permanent death of most of the warriors and a final reincarnation for one, which was Lucas himself. And to his shock, Lucas was put into the body of a woman by the name of Eden Blake. So I would say that this character actually is trans, if you think about it. And this is such an interesting dynamic here. Someone who's put into a female body but identifies as male. So of course now he is, challenged by this body, that he has to have this body and look a certain way, and has to be challenged by, all of the things that he has to be forced to do as a woman. In particular, have children. She has two children. She has two children with her ex-husband. He basically came with a ready-made family. So he actually fell in love with the soul of Eaton Blake once he entered into her, and because he knew everything about her, he fell in love with her soul. So what an interesting dynamic this is. And if this comic has been canceled, I would definitely think that this is something that should be definitely revisited.
Well, I think that somewhere down the line that someone's going to buy this comic book series and probably somewhere down the line make it into a movie for the LGBTQ.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
community.
trans. Yeah, this is definitely a trans character. And that's literally how people who are trans feel, that you have the essence of a male or a female, but you were born with the body of something other than what you identify as. So very interesting aspect right here. And then the next character that we wanted to highlight is a character by the name of the Ray. So do you know anything about the Ray?
I have no.
Okay, so this guy his real name is Raymond Terrell. He's from New Earth. He is the second Ray, the son of the original. He has light powers like his father, and after stints is reserved for other teams, join the Freedom Fighters. He is hypersensitive to light, and exposure to sunlight would kill him. And he was privately tutored in a window-darkened home. And his earnest wishes for normalcy. So I'm assuming that he identifies as gay, and he wants to be just normal everywhere around.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't gotten it. I didn't really find anything in particular about, him being a gay male, but I'm assuming that that's what it is. But interesting, I didn't see any, photos or anything of him with the same-sex partner, but he is one who is identified as LGBTQ superhero.
Okay.
Yeah, he was recruited by the Justice League, and he was with the Justice League for about a year.
I'm gonna have to study a little. I'm going to dig deep and dive into this one and read up a little more on it.
Well, he was also asked to join the ranks of the Justice League task force led by Martian Manhunter. So it's very interesting. Definitely interesting.
Something to definitely put a finger on and see where this goes.
Yeah, definitely. But so this is a DC Comics, I'm assuming. Yes. And I'm trying to figure out who the creators are. The creators are Jack C. Harris and Joe Quesada. And the universe is New Earth. Very interesting. So with that being said, you all, please go and support these comics, especially during Pride Month, celebrate Pride Month by buying comics that are of the LGBTQ community, and support that. And I would say too, as far as Mantra, petition to see if we can revisit that, because I believe that would be our first trans character in the Heroverse. Interesting.
And if you're also gonna invest and be a part of Pride Month, make sure you check out Pose, the TV show.
Yeah.
It's in this next season, and so far it is looking very good.
Well, this is its last season, by the way. Yes,
one of my friends actually she's been working on this project, so I'm proud of Danielle Palanca.
Yeah. I have to tell you that show and the period in which it highlights is when I was a flight attendant, and I lost my best friend to AIDS. that show had me in such a state, because I was seeing what was happening with the community at that time during the AIDS epidemic, and just revisiting it. It was worth watching. I have to tell you, it was definitely worth watching it, but I did it through tears. I really did, because they were able to really capture what was going on. And as a flight attendant at that time, I lost a lot of friends. Nobody knew what this was that was coming, that was happening. And so it just was so scary. It was so scary for everybody. And I just had friends, leaving this world.
I don't think it was easy for anyone when AIDS first came around, because like you said, no one knew what it was, and no one knew how it was killing so many people so rapidly. Some people have been able to stay around for a long time, and then some people you see them today and they were gone tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly what happened. It just really has to deal with, whenever we're dealing with any type of epidemic, even when it comes to COVID, what happens to the world, people really don't know anything, and everything is in a panic. But I feel like Pose captured the humanness of the AIDS epidemic, in addition to the humanness of the underground community and the trans community. I think it's such an excellent show. It's such an excellent show. I highly recommend people watching that show. Highly recommend it.
I'm going to make you laugh real quick.
Yes.
So growing up at that time, I actually had a bunch of friends that actually got me into voguing. So stop laughing at me, Leslie. Yes, I know how to vogue.
Did you do it in the underground? Did you do it in the
Yes,
club?
I did. I had a few times growing up actually performing Vogue in front of people and at a ball.
So my question is, did you win?
Well, I was considered what they would call the straight boy voguing. I didn't win because I was still, at that time, I was still learning the whole transitions of how to vogue and what it was and the whole community itself.
I think it's a very hard dance. Honestly, I think it's a very difficult dance. I don't see how anybody does it. Just the lines of that dance, it just doesn't seem, it's crazy.
It's not easy, but it is fun.
So then, do you watch Legacy as well?
I actually have a couple of friends that's actually a part of that as well that I know.
Oh gosh, so we have to bring you back and talk about that. Well, I think one of the best performances in Pose as well is that just everybody is really awesome in that, but Mr. Billy Porter is in there. And so, he's just, he's everything to me. So anyway, let's go on and introduce our first guest. We are running a little bit over. You all, let me just give you a little bit of a background of our guest. He's an illustrator and a creator of Curves and Bullets comic book series. He's also a designer and storyboard artist, born and raised in New York City. His storyboarding artwork for music videos, Justin Bieber featuring Tyga, Megadeth featuring Lacuna Coil, The Killers, and Black Label Society, Concrete Jungle, and can be found in countless other storyboarding projects and advertisements for McDonald's, Bloomberg Financial, Colgate, Budweiser beers, General Mills, Burger King, MTV Networks, Red Lobster, Verizon, to name a few. I mean, it goes on. Including concept art for Project Triforce and Rocksteady Games statues and dioramas. Arkham Origins video game as well. I think he also did Techno Kitty adventure for 21st Street Games. He's illustrated numerous comic book titles for Terminal Press, among other indie book companies, and was nominated for the Eisner Russ Manning Most Promising Newcomer Award in the comic industry at the 2007 Will Eisner Awards. So it's the Will Eisner Awards. My apologies. He is the son of Dominican artist, famous painter, expressionist Clara Ledesma. And without further ado, you all, let's bring in Mr. Ray Ledesma. Hi, Ray. We call him Rolo. Rolo or LEDESMA. Hey, Rodolfo, can you hear us?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I think we got it. He's on mute. Rolo, can you hear us?
I think he can hear us. We just can't hear him. Wait a minute. I hear him.
I hear you.
How you been?
Hey.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry I messed up that intro. Rolo, thank you so much for being on
the show. I'm honored to be on the show.
We're honored to have you.
Hear you.
Okay, you're actually.
You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You're actually a little bit behind, so we're getting a little delay.
It's just usually the delay is usually just internet, but you're good, right? You're good.
I can hear you.
You can hear us? We just got a little delay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's just a little delay. That's internet delay.
Yeah. You hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you fine.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. So Rolo,
do you
tell
hear me?
you. Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me now?
What is this, a Verizon commercial?
Can you hear us? Okay.
So do you hear me now?
I think what you might want to do, I think we might have you. Can you possibly come out of the broadcast and come back in? All right. Just jump out and then come back in and we'll bring you back in.
I'm sorry about that. It might be my internet. It might be the internet.
That's okay. Just jump out and come back in and we'll just keep talking about you. All right.
This guy is a graffiti artist from back in the days. You see the skills. I had a chance to check out his page and
I can hear you fine. I hear you
fine.
Fine. I hear you.
Okay. I think it's just a little bit of a delay. So let's give him some time to talk.
I can hear you. I hear you fine. I hear you fine. Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
So let's talk about your mom. Being an influence in your life. You know, I found this picture of your mom, and let me just say, Rolo, that
Oh my God.
I
have. You hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. I think I'm gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to have you jump out of the broadcast and then come back in. Can you do that?
Okay, I can do that. I'll do.
Okay.
So close me out.
Okay, I'll close you out. All right, let me call you out. Close you out. All right, he's gonna come back in. So, when he comes back in, I'm really excited to talk to him about his mom because, I have 3 homes. Literally, I have 3 homes. One is here where I live in New Jersey. The other one is back home in St. Louis, and that
the Lou
and Alton, Illinois. But the third home I have is the Dominican Republic. That's my other home. That's where my people are from. That's what I say. But in actuality, it's not. It's a long story behind that. So I am very excited to talk to him about this. Her being Dominican and being a famous illustrator. An impressionist. Her work is amazing, and you can definitely see where he gets that from. The colorization, all of that other kind of stuff. Just amazing.
His I want to say not just illustration skills, but his grasp of coming up when graffiti was coming in, and to be able to master some of the things that graffiti has brought into our present time when it comes to artwork.
Right.
You know,
right.
because everybody at one point looked at graffiti as, oh, that's trash, that's garbage. Why are they messing up? Why are they vandalizing? Not realizing that that was an art form coming up the same way other impressionists have, you know, had canvas. A street corner was a canvas, a building was a canvas, a light post was a canvas, you know, a train was a canvas. You know,
Yeah.
it was just a different canvas, and to the naked eye, to someone who didn't understand it, it was garbage. But to someone who's seen the beauty and the art in it, it was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely was fantastic. And I think that that's the thing, is that people didn't understand it at that time. So they were basically, you know, like, what is this? But one thing that I can say is that it is centered in not only that, but we are internally as a people. If you could understand that there are the graphics and everything, you could see African in there, you could see Spanish in there, you can see everything that that these urban artists were in that content. I mean, I think the most famous person that I can think of is Basquiat. You know, you can see Haiti and all of his art.
Yes.
You know, just amazing. I think we're having problems getting him in. So some of the stuff that he's done outside of this is just, you know, like some of the stuff I want to highlight some of the stuff that he's done.
Crazy. You know, things from motorcycles to sneakers to so much different stuff I've seen, and I was just like, I might have to commission them for my own pair of show-off sneakers, you know.
I mean, just crazy stuff that he's done. You know, it's like, wow. I actually pulled up his page, and I wanted to show that with it to everybody. So let's look at some of that stuff that you were talking about.
Yes, fantastic. If I could put a statue up, it'd be a statue of him in front of some of the dopest graffiti artwork I've ever seen. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, look at this. Look at that. Now that's Catwoman and Robin right there. That's on Instagram. This, oh my gosh, look at the color of it.
This is so dope.
It's really dope. I wonder if I could get this a little bit bigger. Let's see. He also, let's see, I don't think I can make this bigger. But here he is doing the shoes, the sneakers right here.
Them sneakers are crazy.
Look at that. How do you get that stuff to stay on there though? Is that all permanent ink then?
Yes, that is a permanent ink. I think it is if it's not an oil base, it's a acrylic base, which stays to the sneaker the same way it would stay to the canvas.
Unbelievable. So I'm seeing this device is not connecting onto us. I don't know. We're not getting him in. But that is crazy. Look at that.
And then the motorcycle he did was phenomenal.
See if I can find the motorcycle on here. This is it painting Thor or Valkyrie. The female Thor, actually. This is his mom. This is some of her art. So it's so typically Dominican. Just beautiful. Look at this.
The Star Wars type Dick Tracy that he added together with, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, unbelievable. He actually sent us some art. Here's
look
at that.
That bike is ridiculous.
What? I don't think I can bring this up any bigger. Let me just see if I can make this a solo layout a little bit more.
When I first saw that, I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually in on his Instagram page. You know, if you want to find him, he's on ROLO LEDESMA ROLO LEDESMA on Instagram. Yeah, he's just amazing at his art.
Like I said, I might have to commission him for a show off or me radio something, because his stuff is great.
Yeah, just really gorgeous. He actually sent us some things too. So let's see if I can bring that up. There he is.
I had to use my
Right
phone.
up. That's okay.
It's okay.
Hey!
Long as you're here.
We're so excited. We're so excited.
What a mess. I was hearing everything, and I love what you were saying, but I just couldn't log in. I was like, this sucks. So I'm going to turn on my computer.
Oh, wow. Well, we're very glad that you're back. So we were talking about, and we were basically talking about your style, and we were talking about your mother's style. And I don't know if you heard me say that I have 3 homes.
Everything.
Yeah. So my third home is, when I used to be a flight attendant, I used to go to the Dominican Republic all the time to La Capital. And
Yes,
I lived there. Literally, I had friends there and everything. I missed that so much. I embraced that culture. I made it my own. I had like the people there were like my family. That's beautiful. Yeah. And so when I'm looking at the art, I'm thinking about the times that I've gone to the El Mercado in La Capital and bought pieces from different people. Mostly what I bought were ceramic pieces by Limay.
Oh,
you know,
those are beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, nothing like that.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. The art there is so just beautiful. And I'm saying that you could see every part of who we are as a people in this art. The African, the Spanish, the Indio.
All merges into one thing.
All together. Right. So just gorgeous stuff. So I'm going to bring up some of the stuff that you shared with us, that you shared with me, so you can talk about that. Let me just pull this up real quick.
So Rolo, what got you started, or who was your biggest inspiration to start drawing like this?
It's funny. Well, 2 things: watching mom painting, growing up, like watching her do her watercolors, all her paintings and stuff. That was a big influence. But then I got into comics because reading wasn't the best thing for me. I just couldn't read that well. So I used to go to PS 59, and then the school teacher said, you know what, it's like a tutoring program on college kids, teaching little kids how to read. So one of the tutors, when I used to go to Hunter College, this is where they had the actual, tutor sessions. She told me, why don't you read comic books so you can start learning how to read from there? So because of that, I was like 8 years old. So that
who is that teacher, and where is she now? I don't know if she know. Does she know what kind of an influence she had on you?
It's amazing. Like the influence so huge from that point forward. Because then I always loved the cartoons on TV, and then watching mom painting. So it was like a combination of that, reading comics, watching cartoons and Star Wars and all that. And it just went from there.
Wow.
So was graffiti a part of that love affair from, I can see a lot of that in your drawings, that graffiti played a part, the whole graffiti, breakdancing, MC and turntable,
And being around the hip hop culture, also growing up my first record was, Planet Rock. And then from that point forward, I just kept, because also that's another thing. I'm the youngest of 4. So all my brothers, my 2 brothers and my sisters, they're all musicians. So growing up with music and art everywhere, around, because one was into heavy metal, the other one was to punk rock, my other brother was like funk and hip hop and jazz, and then I'm listening to hip hop too. So it's like a big merging of all kinds of worlds and stuff. So it was like pretty big for me. And growing up in New York, that's also, and I was in the era when, you would see the graffiti on the trains and stuff, and the music all around. I lived downtown and by Avenue D. So I saw firsthand you know, the
Oh, so
graffiti.
you lived in that. So you lived in the LES area.
Yes, yes. I actually used to see with my own eyes Keith Haring do the bodega downstairs where we lived.
Wow.
Like I actually saw that happening. I was like, wow, this man is amazing. Like the wall was orange inside the bodega. And the next day, all his designs were on the wall, like all around. And like 2 blocks away, that's when he had that mural that says "Crack is whack."
Yeah. Yes. I know the area. I'm not from LES, but my stepsister and them lived in LES, so I
You
was
know,
in LES. I grew up in Coney Island where everybody came to do graffiti.
Especially there. I love Coney. It's funny. I did a mural in Coney like 2 years ago, right before all this happened and stuff. So, yeah.
Wow. You know, you're so talented, and I could see why people have, petitioned you to, ask you to do things. This is just so graphic. But one thing that I could really see through this is a very Native influence, like Native American influence. I see this running throughout all of your art, the coloring, the drawing, and everything. I mean, it's a heavy influence of that. And being somebody of Native heritage, I immediately recognize it when I see it. So I'm like, really, this is just absolutely gorgeous. So tell us, like, when you, since you've been asked to do create for so many people, what was the one thing that you said was just like, that was the end all to beat all for you, that you actually had to, somebody petitioned you to do something, you were like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've made it now because somebody asked you to do something?
I would say there's 2 of them. One was doing the music video for that band, the Black Label Society. It started as a concept drawing for me with the directors, and they said, well, we want to make this animated, but using your style of artwork. And that's from that point forward, I was like, you know what, let me draw then the band, the guys, the characters in black and white. And they goes, yeah, just keep it black and white. It's just raw, like the style you use. So from that point forward, they said, just draw first half, middle, and end, and we'll have a team in Russia draw your stuff. And the end results was the music video with the band throughout the whole video as images that I drew and the guys animated over there. And it was amazing. Like, to me, that was like,
wow.
It was, to me, it was kind of like a mashup of when the band did their video, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was like,
and it's like heavy metal type music and stuff, and it was Zach Wild and all that. So it was like, it had that edge. Like, that's one thing I like to have also in my artwork is edge. Like, to me, I love bringing in all that style into what I do with, from, I think, like you said, the influence of hip hop and rock and, Native art and Mom's work. And it's like all mashes together. So, that's why I love, especially black and white. I love drawing black and white. I love color, but black and white to me is like real pure. So like, I love inking stuff.
I think too, what it is about just drawing in black and white is that it almost is like if you gave somebody black and white, and think about it, when we were kids and we did stuff that when we got a coloring book, it actually, your own concept of color comes through with the black and white. It's very clean.
Yes. And I love that. And I also have a great team of folks that I work with that color my work. So sometimes I don't have enough time to color. So I have like Sherwin Santiago, Edwin Domingo, Maddie Bova. It's like 5 people that help me color my stuff. I color too, but like some of the pieces you see is colored by my good team of people I have. So
wow. And what do you feel like you like to draw the most? What is the thing that you feel, because you've drawn superheroes, you've done, what do you like drawing most?
Me.
It's funny.
So crazy.
You're next. I'll draw you with a cool badass motorcycle. So
I'm feeling good now. I'm about to go outside and run around.
I mean, do you like this, or do you like more urban art? What is the?
I love urban art. It's like my major passion, but I like to combine it more with like edginess of like I would say metal art, tattoo art type of effects into what I do. And honestly, I love drawing mechanical work like cars and robots and all that stuff. I love drawing the mechanical stuff, and also love drawing women. So basically, that's
What
one of
is
many
it? What is it? What is it about drawing women that you love?
It's three things. They're elegant. To me, they're always elegant. And I love curves, like drawing the curves. Like I can draw guys, of course, but to me, like the curves and the angles and stuff, what makes it look, it's fun, and to me, it's like a challenge because you have to be perfect when you're drawing certain ways. Like with guys, you can draw chisel and all that, and I can make that work. But with women, you got to be careful how you make a certain line to make it work and stuff. So to me, those are like little challenges, but I love challenge work. So and drawing women is like pretty awesome for me. And people say, "Oh, you're always drawing women." But yeah, I like drawing it.
I have to tell you that I definitely now I'm going to hook you up with my husband's band. My husband is in a rock band. He's a bass player in a rock band. So they're always looking for artists. I have to connect you all somehow, because it is they're hard. I would say they're heavy metal. So if that's something that you like, then I think you would love this. And I have to stop you right here because I don't know if anybody could ask you to draw this specifically, but I see the $6 million man there, and I don't know, are you a fan? Because I see
I'm a big fan. Oh. Growing up, that was my go-to TV show, and the Bionic Woman.
Yes, that's my favorite. Oh my gosh!
So I mashed in that drawing. I mashed in 3 different shows I love: The Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. I can see.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
That's the sleeve stacks in the back.
Yeah.
It's like a little Easter egg because you only see their claw and their hand in the beginning, and you see in the back them. And then it's almost like Steve Austin landed on Land of the Lost. So.
And we don't see Chaka.
Yes, I gotta draw Chaka. So I only do Cornelius from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
As you can see, I was a Land of the Lost fan. I remember they were called sleeve stacks.
Yes.
I still love them. That's one thing I love that show. It's still it's dated right now. It's really dated when I see it on YouTube, but it's still awesome.
Yeah, no. Listen, nothing gives me the feels more than the type of stuff programming that we used to watch when we were kids. And obviously, you all are from my era because the Bionic Man and the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman were 2 of my favorite shows. And I can remember how we waited every weekend to watch an episode. There was always like a cliffhanger. We couldn't wait. And how I got up every morning to watch Land of the Lost. I even remember the song. So that just gave me feels seeing that,
See, Leslie, you're lucky my equipment isn't plugged up because I would play the Land of the Lost theme song for you right now.
Next time you gotta hook it up. Yeah, I mean that definitely.
With the banjo playing and everything. I love that song.
Oh, gosh.
Marshall, Will, and Harley on the routine expedition.
I love that song. And one thing, I don't like the movie, but I love the show.
Yeah. Oh, the movie didn't do it justice. Definitely not.
I think the movie was rushed, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think it was rushed. The same way with Jumanji. I think it's just rushed.
Yep. They're like, let's get it out there quick. We lose the momentum and whatever. So.
No, you know what I think? You know what I think it is? It's not that it was rushed. It means that what happened was a fan did not create that movie. That's what happened.
That's a lot.
I've seen better fan movies, or fan trailers than some of the stuff that Hollywood has put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
The effects, even costumes. Like I've seen, you guys have no budget, but your costumes look like the one straight out of a comic book compared to what Hollywood.
Yeah,
exactly. I've seen cosplayers put better costumes together than some of the movies.
Yeah, definitely. This is like really just awesome. So I know that you have been really busy. What are you going to be doing? Like in the future, what's been going on? I mean, are you going to Comic-Con this year? What are you doing?
I got my new Curves and Bullets book. So, and then I have my manga version coming out.
Hold on, let me pull you up so everybody can see this.
We had the manga version.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And then you have the new version that just literally just printed like last week.
Nice.
And,
Can you push that up a little bit closer to the screen?
you get
Oh,
to see
wow.
That's
Nice.
dope.
it.
That's dope.
And then you
Yo, just let us know how we can purchase it and get your signature in it so I can put it up on the wall. I would definitely love one.
I'll definitely get you some. Well, I'm gonna be doing Big Apple Con. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's coming up in July. I think the 27th or the 17th, one of those. So I'm gonna be doing that, and I'll have my table there. So you gotta swing by and
I might be there. If I'm there, I'll probably be with Urban Action Showcase playing a little music. Maybe.
I love that. And not for nothing, I saw you playing when 2 years ago I was at with Timac on your
Oh.
So I seen you in action. You kept that spot bumping, especially that whole area.
I appreciate it. I saw
that with my own eyes.
It's a small world.
Yes, I saw it was you, the guys from the Warriors, and Timac.
Oh, that was at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool. So, Rollo, what's the one thing that you want to do that you haven't done yet? What's going to top the list for you? What is your bucket list item?
Animation, like my own series animated. Like that's my next step, and probably it's gonna happen before the year is up. I want to do a little trailer to showcase, and then maybe get some funding for it and stuff. So
yes.
Yeah. So that's next.
So Vincent Vlado just said that you're helping him out with his comic book.
Yes, that's another one. Sci-Fi Ninja Theater. Good
wow.
So we're actually working on the book. I just finished doing his logo and stuff. So we're gonna have. You know what? I'm gonna email you a sample page of the character that me and Vinny did. So you get to see that coming up.
Okay.
So
I can't wait. I
definitely can't wait to see your creativity. We know what your drawings look like, but your creativity is going to be immaculate. I can see, and I would love to. There's one I want to say cartoon we probably watched back in the days that I could see you redoing and making it better, and the show was called Mummies.
Oh, I remember that show.
I can see you touching that and making it so much better than what it was.
That had Mumra, right? Mumra?
No, that's Thundercats. That's Thundercats.
Thundercats.
I forgot their
Come on, you know me. But Mummies was a dope show.
It was awesome. They had like this cool looking mummy mobile where they all climbed in and stuff, drove down.
Yes.
It was amazing. I love that. You know what? Now I gotta draw that.
but I can see you drawing it. That's why I said it. I can looking at your artwork, I can see you drawing that.
Wow. So I'm loving this. We're having like a love fest and going back and everything. So you want to do your own animation, and that's what that's your next thing that you're going to be doing. How people can find you on Facebook and on
Facebook, Instagram. My website, curvesandbullets.com. You get to see all my artwork there, and also I'm going to have a site where you can actually download Comixology. If you type in Curves and Bullets, you can download the comics there too. So
all right. I'm excited about this. Well, we're definitely going to have you come back because you're doing a lot. I don't know how you find the time and the energy, but thank God.
And going back to what you had with Mantra, that's actually one of my favorite characters.
Wow. See what you did, Les? You dug up something that somebody knew.
I actually used to know that character.
Well, my favorite all-time show when I was growing up was Ultraman. So I like that to me is
oh my God. Yes.
Speaks volumes.
Shogun Warriors, Ultraman, manga, all that stuff was a big influence on my work and stuff. So
I got one for you. What about Manimal?
Oh man, with the guy, the live action one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Listen, now that we've done this, we put him in a tizzy as far as thinking now he's going to be going and creating stuff.
On channel 4, I remember.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was an NBC back then.
Yeah.
And then they had Automan.
Automan.
That was my ultimate, because the way he made everything just glow. His car, his helicopter, his suit and tie.
Yes, it had the Tron effect.
Or Johnny Sacco and the flying robot. That's another one too. Yeah. Well, listen, we can go down this. We can go down this path and everything, but we have to move on. We have to move on. So we're going to find you at. We're going to find you at the Big Apple Con. You're going to be there, and that's what day is that?
On July 17th.
Oh, July 17th. Okay, so we can find you there. We're going to put that in post so that everybody knows that you're going to be there on July 17th and to check you out there. And then where are you going next after that? Are you doing Comic-Con after that, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm probably going to do New York Con. Might do Eternal Con in Long Island, and also Terrific Con in Connecticut around August. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'll keep you all. I'll email you all those things.
Yes, please email us so that we can follow.
Well, I just hit you on Instagram. I just followed you on Instagram. So
real quick.
You see me. It's either Me Radio or the Phenomenal DJ Shaw. So either one of those, you'll see me.
Count me in with anything you need. With anything you guys need, I'm in.
All right, yay!
We got him, Les. I told you, we'll get him.
Well, you might regret that. Yeah. But anyway, so thank you so much for being with us today. We have to move on. We would love to keep you. And I know you have some work to do. You're doing some storyboarding right now, so you have to go and do that. But
perfect.
Love your art.
Congratulations, brother.
Yes, congratulations on everything. And we'll be watching you. Everybody, please follow this man. He's just going up and up and up and up, and that's all I can say about it.
Just remember, if you need any music for any of the stuff you're doing, let me know. I know plenty of artists that would love to get their stuff into anime or anything else.
Perfect. Well, we gotta definitely talk. That's coming.
And Vincent, I have a colorist for you if you need one.
Yeah, he definitely needs that. Yeah. That's perfect.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Good work today, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for the chance.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Te veo.
Bye-bye.
Besitos.
Un abrazo.
Bye-bye. Un abrazo también. Okay, bye.
Hey, cut that out. I don't speak the language anymore. I don't live in Coney Island.
Well, big hug to you.
Oh, you too. Yeah, big hug. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a very good interview.
Yeah, just awesome. So I know we have somebody else waiting in the wings.
I'm waiting for him too, because I've got like 15,000 questions for that man right there.
Oh my goodness. We only have like a few more. We have only like 45 minutes left for the show, so we gotta keep
only need 10.
You only 10 minutes. Oh Lord. Help me. All right. So let me just forget our next guest. This gentleman, he is the author of 3 dystopian fiction novels that have been proven eerily prophetic about current events. His books are Exit Zero, NUKE Jersey, and Zombie Demo. Without further ado, you all, let's bring in Mr. Neil A. Cohen. What's up, Neil?
Hello, and I'm definitely going to have a tough time following that.
No, you won't. No, you're
not. Listen, it's the hosts that make the show.
It is.
The guests, we just bring things out of you.
Well, I've been chatting along actually with the people on outside as the fans have been chatting. I've been on there chatting as well.
I see that. I've been seeing some of the comments that you've been making in the back there. Thank you so much for waiting and just hanging out with us and everything.
Sure, I enjoyed that because first of all, if you can tell from the look, I love the 70s. I grew up in the 70s. I am a 70s fanatic. Land of the Lost,
yes,
Puffin stuff. All that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
That was everything I grew up on. I actually I should have pulled them out. I didn't even think of it. Behind me, I've got a bunch of comics. I have an Evel Knievel comic. I have from the 70s. I actually have Batman teams up with the Black Panthers from, I think it's 1969. I have that comic book.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, I have the first Evel Knievel comic book. I probably was only one. I've got the H.R. Puffin stuff comic book. I've got all those. I've got Harlem. I got like 3 Harlem Globetrotters. They tried to release a comic book series. So I have all of those. I am a 70s fanatic.
Oh my gosh. And see, this is the thing. This is why I love this show, because we always find people that are kindred here. Because this is we all love that kind of stuff. And I don't know if that's just the beginnings of, we didn't know what we were, but we were probably geeks at that time and we just didn't know it. But we were all living in our own little separate, living rooms, watching cartoons with our cereal in the morning, never knowing that we were all going to meet each other at cons and in live broadcasts.
Exactly. Cereal.
And here we are.
Cereal, and then I was eating wax sips. So just chewing on.
He's talking about the wax soda, wannabe soda bottles.
Exactly. I was eating dots, which was just basically candy on paper. And pixie sticks. So
cigarettes.
That was my Saturday morning breakfast. Sitting there fired up on a breakfast of sugar, wax, and paper.
Do you all remember the candy necklaces that you should put them in your mouth and eat them?
Of course. It's so disgusting. Everything we had back then was disgusting. We loved it. We loved all of it.
We loved it all. Hey, remember that too? I used to be able to go to a candy store with 5 cents, buy a whole load of candy.
Well, there was no other, and there was also no other time to watch cartoons. Saturday morning. That was it.
Saturday morning. That was it. That was it.
I remember that once a year they would have a preview of what was coming on the Saturday morning cartoons, and each network would run the Saturday morning cartoon previews for the next year, like what was coming out. And but what sucked was, I remember there was no VCRs, there was no recording, there was no nothing. So they all ran it. ABC, NBC, CBS, which were the only 3 stations, would run it in the morning on the same day, and you had to flip back and forth. And they had the stars of that network talking about it, and that was how you planned out your Saturdays for the next year, depending on that.
Oh my gosh.
Bugaloos. Bugaloos.
The Bugaloos
in the air
everywhere, flying high, flying. Oh my gosh, I'm actually singing the song. I can't believe it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And someone else I saw posted something about the Lidsville. The funniest was when Witchy Poo from H.R. Puffin stuff crossed over
to that show,
came to Lidsville and was having an affair or was on a date with, and I don't remember his name. I think it was Charles Nelson Riley, but who the evil guy was. If anyone remembers, post it.
That is funny.
Gosh, those are such good times, you all. I know that they can never recreate that time, but if they could just keep the excitement going, and honestly, I have to say that's kind of what Marvel is doing in a sense, is they're keeping the excitement going about whatever they're doing. Is they're not actually giving us a whole bunch of content to consume all at once. We're expecting it each Thursday or each Friday when it comes out, just like we did when we were watching $6 Million Man or any of our cartoon shows that had a cliffhanger. And I'm loving that. I'm loving that old school feel to things.
Well, to me, this is the adult version of our childhood.
Exactly. Like now, I was one of the places I love is shopgoodwill.com, and Goodwills all around the country post stuff they find, and you can bid on it, and that's where you find the stuff. I just had a bid and I got sniped at the very end. It was an H.R. Puffin stuff watch. I was going for Weebles. I had a bid on remember Weebles from the 70s?
Weebles who wobble and don't fall down. I was just talking about them.
Someone had turned in Weebles. They were at a Goodwill. I had a bid on them. I didn't get it, but you see the most amazing stuff. And also your you're not given to a store, you're given to Goodwill. So when you buy this stuff, but it's so awesome to the stuff, the $6 Million Man. I had that when I was a kid, with the little arm chip that comes out and you could look through his eye. So those come up every so often. And you forget it. The bidding is off the chart to get those.
It's called Goodwill.
It's shopgoodwill.com. That's where I find the best 70s merchandise. Some of the stuff I saw on there that was just insane. There was a Steve Austin lunchbox and all that kind of stuff. But the bidding gets insane. The Weebles are very popular. I went after a 1968 Corgi Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with all 4 tabs. And those are very rare. And the bidding got so insane, I got out of it. I was like, no, I don't need it that much.
And that's the problem, is it's not like you're actually going and visiting. Now you have people from all over the country bidding on this stuff, and the prices probably get up there to something crazy, especially when it's something that everybody really loves.
Yeah. And you can find, and it's like the niche nerds like us, who everybody else would be like, what the hell would you want an HR Puffin stuff watch from 1972 that probably doesn't work anymore? Well, I want it.
Yeah.
But all the other people like me also want it. And we're all over the world, and they're trying, so it's tough, the bidding stuff. But real quick before I forget, throwback to Rolo. It was Rolo, right?
Rolo, yeah.
Rolo, okay. So both my daughters want to be storyboarders. They both want to be illustrators. One's only 13, one is 18, and she actually got accepted to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, but she's decided to go to, she's decided to stick close to home. She's taking some courses over the summer there, but she's going to go to Mason, study illustration, storyboarding. So I was showing them Lidsville and HR Puffin stuff one Saturday morning. So they drew up for me their illustrations of it, and I just totally forgot about it. They were showing me they were showing me it, and I was going to post it. So I will post that on my Instagram. I'm going to get them to send that to me. Their versions, today's kids view of Lidsville and Witchy Poo and all that. I'll post that on Instagram.
Wow.
It was pretty funny, their interpretation of it.
So you showed it to them exactly, but then they did their own. You didn't tell them the storyline. You didn't say anything. They just went ahead and created their own based on what you showed them.
Exactly. We just watched. It was like we were on YouTube and we were watching like one episode of Lidsville, one episode of HR Puffin stuff, one episode of Land of the Lost, and they just draw. Like when they're seeing stuff, they're just sketching it as they go along. And then she showed me it, and I don't believe because I told her, I said, "Oh my God, that's awesome! You got to send it to me. I'm going to post it on Instagram." And I forgot. So that is on. So you follow me. Anyone wants to see that at Exit Zero Zombie, and spelled out. That's at Exit Zero Zombie, all spelled out, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And I will have that up there, my kids' version of that. Yeah, there you are.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have to see this. I have to see that because, I don't think that we've ever questioned the dynamic of the characters that we all fell in love with for Saturday morning cartoons. They didn't seem, cartoon drawing right now and the storylines for cartoons are so much more different and maybe more realistic than what we did, which was so much more imaginary.
Yeah.
And whoever knew that we were like HR Puffin stuff. We were in love with HR Puffin stuff. His name and stuff. We were like, what is it?
Since you just said that, I just found your Land of the Lost, but I also found Seymour and the Sea Monster Friends.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my gosh, I
that.
got that too.
You were talking earlier.
Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition met the greatest earthquake ever known.
Wow, that remember, everybody knows that song. Everybody knows that song who's watched that show.
Well, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, actually, you were talking about an Amazon show. Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, they've actually redone. I haven't seen it yet.
Really?
They've redone it. It's a new series on Amazon Prime. They've redid Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
I've got the now you're going to make me Go and look for it now.
Yep.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. I actually stumbled across. I don't even know how I stumbled across it, but I saw that. So the big thing I'm waiting for, obviously, because I'm a zombie guy, is Netflix Black Summer is coming out, season 2 in about 10 days. That I'm waiting for. I am. I don't know if you. Not a lot of people caught it, but Black Summer 1 on Netflix, man, it was fantastic. And the last episode, the very last half of the last episode was so intense. It was what I wanted World War Z to be, the movie World War Z to be. And it was so well done, and it was so realistic, and God, it was awesome.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your series, and then I want to talk about the zombie series that have been created that because we all love zombies. I don't know what the fascination is with zombies, but I'm curious just about your series, and I want to talk a little bit about your series, and then I want to talk about the zombies that are in most of what we're seeing right now on Amazon Prime, or movies that have been created, or The Walking Dead, stuff like that. I'm very curious to see your perspective on this. So you did a trilogy: Exit Zero, Welcome to New Jersey, and Zombie Democracy. And for anybody that does not really know about this trilogy, give us a little bit of a brief synopsis of this trilogy.
Absolutely. So I've always lifelong fan of zombie genre. And so probably because it was probably the only genre that really scared me as a kid. So, you embrace what you fear. And that's kind of what I did. But I always said, the zombie movies, they just keep doing the same thing. I love the beginning. I love when it's like something's happening. We're not quite sure what's happening. People are saying things are happening. Other people are saying they're not happening, or other people are in this conspiracy, whatever. But, and then it finally comes to everyone's revelation. It's really happening. And then the movies move to, there's a time jump, and it's either people are cannibalistic psychopaths or warlords or zombie killing ninjas. And I'm like, where the hell is everybody else? What the hell happened?
They're in hiding or in somebody's camp waiting for them to get back.
Exactly. I'm like, well, these people are, I'm not any of those people. And what would I be doing? And where's the DJs? Where's the podcasters? Where's the lawyers? Where's everybody else? Did we all just die? We're all dead. And also, why did society collapse so quickly? Like what? So I love when it's real people in a real life setting that I could relate to dealing with zombies. So I started writing my story. Now, we were talking earlier. I grew up in Jersey. You're from New Jersey. You're in New Jersey. So I had started writing a book about growing up in New Jersey, and I finished probably about 140 pages of it. And I said, well, that's interesting, but not very. And I was like, I didn't see where the story was going. It was funny to my friends and I, but I didn't see a mass market appeal. But I'd also been writing zombie short stories that I wanted to pitch to an anthology. And I said, well, what the hell? What if I took these characters of my real life growing up in Jersey and kind of exaggerated them a little bit and mished them up and put them into the zombie apocalypse? And it took 3 years, 3 damn years. So if you're going to write a book, holy cow. But the first book came out because I am not a writer. I didn't want to write a book. I didn't even want to read a book. I did not set out to do this. I just wanted to entertain my friends. But I just had this idea of how it would happen. Now, I also work in the defense industry. So I know people at HHS and CDC and up at Aberdeen Proving Ground and all the places that would actually deal with a real life zombie apocalypse. So I have been talking to these people for 20 years. And that was always my conversation with them. And these are real people, senior level government positions. I've said, give me an idea of the most realistic zombie type virus that could happen. And if it did, how would we really respond? How would the government respond? How do you think civilians? You've researched this, you've studied this, and all those inputs are put into the book. So I tried to make it realistic. It is not reanimated dead. It is a virus. So everything in the book is possible. There's not probable, but possible. There's nothing in there supernatural. It is a virus that turned people into very, very, very zombie-like characters. They're called skells for their skeletal look. And in my book, so I wrote the first book, and I just thought, okay, I'm done. I had the ideas for the other one, but let's just say I did it for my took off. People loved it. So the publisher said, I need 2 more. So I said, great, I've got the idea. I'm going to write it. And so the following year, Welcome to Nuke Jersey came out, and the third year, Zombie Democracy came out, and that ended the trilogy. And but in my books, the government never collapses, society never collapses. We just deal with it. We teeter, but we deal with it. And it's just zombies are one more thing that could kill you every day. And you still got to go out, and you still got to go to work, and you still got to get food and groceries, and you still got to go out on dates. But now there's zombies out there, and society steps in, and the government steps in, and technology steps in, and there's apps to help you navigate around. And,
oh my gosh.
there's a new bureaucracy set up. So what's really weird is in the third book, Zombie Democracy, and I wrote this, the first one I self-published the novella in 2013. That got picked up by a publisher. Then Exit Zero came out in 2015. 2016. I got picked up in 2015. Exit Zero came out in 2016. Nuke Jersey 17. Zombie Democracy 18. That closed out the series. And then my last book, Business is Dead, came out at the end of 2019. I'll get to that later. So the last book it's the presidential election year, and the virus spreads. And it's how the public and the government deals with a presidential election year during the zombie apocalypse. So
wait a minute.
Yeah.
So Trump gets bitten.
Yeah.
So but here is where the prophecy lies.
Oh,
COVID.
There's so much. Yeah, there's so much in there. Yep. In my book, I have I talk about social distancing. I talk about self-containment and quarantine. We set up Q zones, which are quarantine zones, where the government closes the college campuses to house the infected. Because in my book, you can't just kill them. It's not just like, oh, it's the zombie apocalypse, run around, oh, there's 50 zombies, they'll be killed. No, that's against the law. They are living, infected people. You can't just kill them. It is against the law. You're killing a human being. So you have to call the government. If you see them, there's ways, and there's alerts that come out to say there's a horde of zombies coming to your neighborhood in this many hours, and be sure to go to the store, go home from work, go to the store, get, bread, milk, and toilet paper, the same thing you would do for a storm. Make sure you have enough medication to stay in your house for at least 4 to 5 days while the horde passes. And if they start to break in, you call, and there's apps to swipe, and you take a picture of the zombie and swipe it, and it sends it right to the government, and they have a zombie patrol group that come and scoop the zombies up and remove them from your property and take them away. And so you can't, but also in mine, because in mine, it's a virus. And where does the virus live? Virus lives in your stomach.
Right.
So that's where the virus exists. So shooting them in the head doesn't really cure much. They're still going because the virus is what's driving them at this point, and that's in the stomach. So the only way to kill them, to stop them, remove their stomach. So gross. But
yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Honestly, that's not gonna happen. But you're saying that they're still human. Is there a cure? If you can't kill them, is there a cure then that this person can potentially be cured?
So it's funny because I talk in my book about convalescent plasma. So what happens is, and I don't want to give away too much because I want people to buy the book.
Yeah, we want people to buy it. We want people to buy it, yes, because I'm curious why they cannot be killed.
But convalescent plasma is where they say in the very beginning of the COVID virus, they were taking blood of people who had COVID and recovered, and using that blood to kind of vaccinate you.
Yes. So they were
in,
using antibodies, basically.
Yeah. So in my book, there are certain people who can survive the virus. If you can survive the first 48 or 24 hours to 48 hours, you survive, but you have lifelong symptoms, but also your blood becomes extremely valuable. So in my book, those people who have contracted the virus and survived aren't looked at as heroes. They are hunted because their blood is basically a vaccine, a cure for it, and not so much a cure, but a prevention. And so if you survive it, you're not telling anyone. You are being hunted by, people, very wealthy people and people that want that because your blood is a rare commodity. So this was all in the book. So this was how weird this was, man. Honestly, I was annoyed that I didn't get more attention. COVID came out. So, but by the way, did you see? I sent you the pictures. Did you see?
Yes. Let me pull that up because and don't tell anything. Don't say anything. Just keep talking, and I'll pull that picture up.
Yeah. So what happened was I was out promoting the books. So I've been promoting the books, and I kind of did exactly what Rollo did. I went out and did cons and artist shows and promoted to that community. And I always tell people who want to write a book, they say, well, I can't get a publisher. Well, I couldn't get a publisher when I had my first story too. So I just self-published and I sold the hell out of it. I went around the country and I hit up Comic Cons and artist cons and hit up the nerd community and hit up the zombie and horror community and just kept going. Then I pitched my sales numbers to the publishers. And that's how, because they were like, who the hell are you? We don't know who you are, but then they saw, oh crap, this guy can sell books. And that's how I got my deal. So going around promoting the books, I'm hitting all these cons and I'm a sales guy. That's my job in real life. So I'm a natural extrovert. I know how to sell. I know how to talk to people. I know how to cultivate leads. I go to regular conferences for my day job. So I would be sitting at these cons and I'm looking around the artists, just like Rollo, and they would be sitting there. They're brilliant, talented people who are generally introverts, who generally are not comfortable promoting themselves and their work, who are in a very competitive environment. Like you walk into New York City Comic Con and you go to Artist Alley, and there's someone who is drawing Batman, the Joker, and Harlequin. And there's probably 50 other artists also drawing them.
Yeah.
And so I would sit there and watch these guys, and people would come up to their booth, and they were usually drawing. And the people would come up to the booth and be flipping through their work, and they wouldn't even look up. Or they may look up and smile and not say anything. And I'm like, what the hell are they doing? They just spent $300 or $3,000, depending on the show. And there's someone looking at their artwork and they're not even making eye contact.
Yes.
And it would be like, so I would go over to them afterwards and I would, because there's breaks when everybody's in the panel sessions, and I would just talk to the other vendors and I would say, so tell me you're a fan, and everything like that. So tell me how'd you got into this? And I was just interested talking to people and how are you promoting? I remember I approached this one guy I loved his art. I was just looking at it. And I was flipping through it, and again, he wasn't looking at me. So I started asking him questions, trying to get him, and he barely could answer. And I said, so tell me, how do you promote your work? And he looks up and he goes, poorly. And I said, at least he was honest. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, man. So I would start talking. And I say, are you expensing this? Are you following up with people? How, when people come to your booth, are you getting them to sign up? Or you maybe give away a little $5 superhero toy and they drop their email and then afterwards you have 50 emails because everybody wanted to win the stupid toy and everything like that. And they didn't think of anything like that. I'm like, so are you doing anything social media? I'll follow you. And they're like, yeah, I don't have a social media. I have a personal Facebook page if you want a friend. And I'm like, well, dude, this is your business, that you got to promote this. And so I actually contacted one of the con organizers and said, I'd like to host a panel. And I would like to bring all the fandom, the fandom vendors on the stage and talk about their fandom and why they launched their artistic business. Some were charities, some were doing cosplay, some were doing this. And it was exactly like you were talking about before. The fandom makes better content than the studios because they understand it, they're passionate, they're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I would always I could do the Walking Dead cons. And the Walking Dead actors are great and they're nice people and everything, but you understand they're actors. And they may be doing Walking Dead. They may not be even fans of the zombie genre. They may not even watch the show. They may be doing, a sports movie the next week or a commercial or Shakespeare in the Park. It doesn't mean they're an expert in Shakespeare. They're actors. And if you really like the role, that means they're good at it. But these fans would be upset. They'd go up and they'd start hitting the actor with all this minutia trivia and what's the word I'm looking for? Fan theories, and they're not getting it from the actor and they're upset.
Can I just say something as an actor, as a working actor here in New York City? If I was on a series as The Walking Dead, you better believe that I would be consuming all that content that I could possibly consume to make sure that I bring that to my character. So in other words, if I'm playing the character, if I'm playing Michonne, then I'm going to read about Michonne and I'm going to read people's theories about Michonne because listen, that's my job. I'm working this every day. How can you not delve into that?
True,
content?
but some of these people were on the show 2 years earlier and they've moved on and they're doing other things and they're just there to sign autographs and take pictures and but I saw the fandom's face just like kind of be like, man, I really wanted to talk to Joe Blow about the fan theories, about the origin of his character, and he didn't even get it, or he didn't. And I was like, look, man, they're actors. You want to talk to the obsessive fandoms. You want to have conversations with the fandoms. Hit up the people behind me in Artist Alley who have created artwork based on that fandom, whatever it is, whether it's, superheroes or The Walking Dead or, Twilight or anything. With Supernatural, that was the one I was going to think of that has a lot of obsessive fans. I said, different. So I went to the con. I said, I'd like to bring these people up on stage and talk to them about what started their con, like their fandom and why they launched their business. And they're not making a lot of money. No one would do this to make a lot of money. You're doing it because you want to be part of the fandom. And if you go to a con and you spend 3 days talking to fans about your fandom and maybe selling a couple items, you had a great weekend. You didn't walk away like, damn it, I didn't get return on investment. I didn't make money. I had a great goddamn weekend because I spent the whole weekend talking with fans and being immersed in the fandom. And I said, that's the book. That's the business book. And so that's where Business is Dead came in. It was all about my experiences selling the first 3 zombie novels as a fan and meeting all these other fandoms who launched businesses but didn't know the ins and outs of the business. So that was it.
So Business is Dead is just about that. Business is Dead is just about these people meeting.
It's all about launching your first fandom-based business, whether and you don't have to be an artist. In that book, some people form charities like Dog Walk of the Dead. They're fans of The Walking Dead. They wanted to raise money. They noticed that when people went to zombie walks, a lot of them brought their dogs and they dressed up their dogs as zombies. So they started a dog walk charity where you show up as a zombie and your dog is a zombie and you pay $25, which 100% goes to charity, and you walk your dog in so you don't have to run, you don't have to be a runner, and you just walk your dog. But they raised thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for charity. Then some were just lived in areas where they filmed series and people wanted to come get tours of the location.
Oh, wow.
And so they launched businesses just giving tours. And so I talk about those they're not MBAs. They may not even have a college degree. They are fans who just said, I want to be in the business. I want to do something to be more in touch with fans.
Well, I do have that picture pulled up, and I want to talk about this specifically because I want to know how this happened. And I'm very curious about this story. But What?
Yeah. So it's funny because my wife was very good and grabbed the video camera and actually got video of him going, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this. So we were at a one of my friends worked for the Biden campaign. So we were at a party and it was a fundraiser and we're there. And at the end of the night, and I brought a book and I said, you know what? It's funny. I'm going to bring a book. And if I get a chance, I'm going to give it to him. That was Zombie Democracy. And so we're at this event and then people start leaving. My wife and I were there and I'm like, well, you know, we paid a lot of money to be here. I'm going to stay until the bitter end. And the food was great. So we're hanging out and suddenly I guess he was in a back room somewhere. He comes out and he's still there. And so he and I end up talking for probably about 7-8 minutes. Very nice guy. And I tell him about the book and I gave it to him and he's like, did you sign it for me? And I said, no, let me sign it. And I signed it for him. You know, so that was pretty funny, you know, and this, you know, so I always said I could start the conspiracy theory here that, you know, my book about launching a virus during a presidential year. And then I met Biden and Fauci prior to it. And then it all happened. I was like, how the hell can I capitalize this? How can I start a good conspiracy theory to sell books here? I just couldn't figure out how to generate that. But no, Fauci, because my specialty is chem, bio, rad, nuke. That's my industry that I'm in, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. And so I'd met him a couple times and I was at a panel session and he was speaking. And so we just took a picture together. Who knew? Like, and at that point, he's just a government guy, you know, yes. No one outside of our little niche community of chem, bio, rad, nuke world did anyone know him. And so I told him about the book, and I didn't have one of the books with me at that time because I was actually attending there, you know, just working. But so who knew that he was gonna come out? You know, he was, and the topic was black swan events. You know, if you've heard the term black swan events, that's the most rarest of rare events. The events that you know that are the least probable, but the most destructive.
Right. Which we would, you know, I could go down this rabbit hole forever about conspiracy theories and about this virus, you know, and what I believe to be the creation of this virus. And I'm fascinated by that. And it's interesting that, you know, listen, even if you just put like a little buzz bees, you know, like just a little hint that this happened, you know, somebody may give some like Eric news saying that you met with them and gave them this book and possibly
maybe you guys could do that for me. Maybe everybody's going to see this and it'll happen. But no,
yes.
And we'll talk offline. We'll talk privately after this. But I actually got briefed on COVID in November of 2019, and then in January of 2020, and it was actually only a couple of us in the chem, bio, rad, nuke industry got that briefing. So I did know. So I can tell you later what I do know.
And let me just say, and you and I used to be a pharmacy buyer, and I always tell people about pharmaceutical companies and the monopoly that they have and how they drive pricing on, you know, just general drugs that you use on a normal basis. But they always know when a drug is about to go out of stock because they always stockpile it. And they to make the hospitals and stuff buy the drug in advance because they know that it's going to go out of stock at some point and they're not going to be creating them. How do they know that?
Yeah.
If it's a shortage, how do you know about the shortage before the shortage happens? It's very interesting. It is very, I'm telling you, it's very interesting.
But what, unfortunately, you know, and anyone who's written a book, you know, knows that you write it, it comes out, or you write it, you submit it, the final artwork is done on the cover, the final editing, and it's all done, and then you wait. You wait until it gets in queue to be released, and that can take 6 to 8 months because once you get in queue, the publisher then only releases a couple of books a month and has a little marketing plan around it. And so once your book is out and it's out and you know about it, you want to do nothing but talk about it, you can't do anything. can't pre-order it. Well, some of you can, but it's basically you just wait until it comes out. And so I was waiting. And when did my book come out? November of 2019. I had bookings at Comic-Cons and different events all through 2020, wiped out. Every one of them canceled. All of the, the shows. So,
oh my gosh.
So that, listen, it happens, but that's, that's the entrepreneur. That's any entrepreneur.
I know you were like, this damn book and this virus.
I know. There was nothing. And that's how I sell. That's how I reach people. I do the cons. I like to be out in public. I like to be there and meeting people and networking and taking pictures of people with my book on Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I like to do. And all that came. And so just like Rolo was saying, he had to pivot. Or no, you were saying, sorry, it was you. You were talking about, and I hope we get time to talk about this, the Urban Action Showcase.
Yeah. Right.
You had to pivot, and you successfully pivoted to a virtual environment.
Right.
And
like I tell people, as a DJ, since we had no clubs, no any real interaction other than the internet, that's where everybody was at.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
even this show was created out of a virtual because we weren't at cons, so we decided to create this show.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to do. You've got to be limber. You have to be responsive. You have to ever flexible like the reed. There, another 70s show. What was that? That was Kung Fu. And I didn't know. Had no idea how to pivot to a virtual way to promote my books. Unfortunately, I kept thinking, okay, well, I lost the January and February show, but there's one coming up in the spring, and I'll do those shows. And then those got canceled. I said, well, I got cons all through the summer. All those got canceled, and then it just kept getting canceled. And now it's 2021, and I was supposed to be doing shows starting like January. And when do you want to really be out there? Right before the holidays, right before Christmas. People were buying gifts and books to make a good gift and signed books. Nope, all canceled. So that all ended. And then so now I'm trying to hopefully relaunch it at the first con that I'll be at is at the New Jersey Horror Con in Atlantic City in September.
In September, right.
I know I did an interview with you guys. I think it was last year. It was really good. And then I'll be doing Awesome Con. Oh, well, actually, no. Awesome Con, I believe, comes first. That's in August. That's down here in Washington, D.C. So I'll be doing Awesome Con in Washington, D.C. and in New Jersey Horror Con in September. But then it's tough to plan. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I foresee that we are going to have it, albeit a little bit of restrictive. We are going to have, live appearances, and I'm looking forward to it. We have to get, the thing is that we don't know if everybody's been vaccinated. And in those settings, you always get some kind of cold or something whenever you're in a con setting. Yeah, you get con crud.
Yep.
So, we just have to be very careful, but we have to at least venture out somehow and try to maneuver, just like your books. We have to maneuver despite the fact that this virus is still prominent. It still exists. It's still ongoing, and it is actually, mutating. So this is a very interesting thing. You never know what's going to happen. I'm curious, though, and if we are talking about this, and we have a few more minutes to talk about this, what do you think about the content that's coming out? I mean, is there anything that's come out that is of the zombie genre that you just were like, wow, this is really a good story? Because what happens a lot of times, I mean, yours is unique. Your zombie storyline is very unique, but most of it follows a pattern. It follows, you have specific types of zombies and stuff like that. Has there been anything that's come out, let's say, during this whole virus time or a year or two ago that you thought was a unique storytelling of the zombie genre?
Honestly, and I actually think it was before this, but as I was mentioning, Black Summer. That I thought was just absolutely fantastic. My worry about The Walking Dead is that it's gotten too far in the future. Like they're doing carriage rides and blacksmithing, apprenticeships. And I'm like, is this Little House in the Prairie zombies? I'm like, it's so far in the future that, I just don't feel the relationship to it because it's not in a universe that I'm in.
Yeah.
And then it came out like Fear the Walking Dead. I'm like, okay, cool. This is the very beginning, which is what I like. And then that went like 2 seasons, and then it jumped timeline so that it could match up with The Walking Dead so they could bring the characters together. And so I kind of lost interest, honestly. And then there was the one World Beyond, which was interesting, but it would new take on it, which was the kids who grew up after the zombie apocalypse. So they never knew a world before it. But, again, it's in that super, super future. I like the regular right at the beginning. I'm in a neighborhood. I'm still in my own house. I have to get to the store. And by the way, there's zombies out there. Or like how it's just starting to collapse and people are starting to figure out how they can navigate and how they can survive in this new zombie environment. That's where I like. If it's zombies on Mars or something like that, I kind of zone like, okay, it'll be interesting. So I watched Army of the Dead. So
I saw that too, and I'm curious, what did you think about that? And I too like it at the beginning stages of things. My favorite opening of any movie was the remake of Dawn of the Dead, where the nurse comes home.
I've watched that so many times. That first 10 minutes of that movie.
Yes.
Holy cow. That is exact. You captured it exactly. That tension, that it's having, and then it just all happens at once. And then that one was great, and until it gets to the point like, okay, now we're going to build Mad Max machines and we got to go out to fight, in the zombies and everything like that. So I'm trying to think. Well, it was okay. I almost didn't even. I guess they're zombies. They're, I don't know what they are. There's hints. There's a lot of hints around it that they were aliens. That they had that it was a guy that got infected with some sort of alien virus. I don't know if you caught it in the very beginning. There was alien ships leaving, or what looked like alien ships in the distance to light.
Well, you know what? It had the same undertones as John Carpenter's Mars movie.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of
it. The character reminded me, the lead character in Army of the Dead, the lead zombie, reminded me of the character from his Mars movie. And oh my gosh,
Is it John Carter? Not John Carter.
No, John Carpenter. John Carpenter's Mars movie.
The movie, I think it was John Carter. I think it was John Carter when he was on another world.
But what it reminded me of.
Ghost of Mars.
Yes.
Ghost of Mars. It had all the undertones of that. The main characters, trying to infect people being bitten and turning in and transforming into these characters that were very smart, even though they couldn't speak. They were intelligent enough, but they were very evil as well. It gave me the same type of. It just gave me the same type of vibes.
Yeah, so it also reminded me a little bit of Will Smith's I Am Legend, where the leader, there was one leader kind of emerging, and he's all muscle bound, and he's grunting, and they all are kind of hibernating, and
then he has a mate.
See, that's the thing. I looking at those different movies, could you even possibly think that with this virus that there would be someone intelligent or have that mental capacity to be intelligent enough to be like, you know what, we're going to do this, so we're all going to go this way.
Well, they explained it in this movie. They explained it in this movie. This was the Creature Zero, basically. This is Creature Zero. And so we really don't know the origins of this particular zombie, but he was intelligent enough. He was a soldier. You know, maybe they were doing experiments on him. He was some type of super soldier, and this is what he became.
Yeah,
but he was able. Yeah, his bite was distinctive and just a minion bite.
And they said Snyder's going to make a whole kind of universe around it. Now, what's funny was not funny for everybody, but they filmed that at the Atlantic City Hotel, at the Showboat Hotel during the last New Jersey HorrorCon, during the 2019 New Jersey HorrorCon. And they took over the area where we exhibit. And the hotel didn't tell the con organizers. I can't remember what happened. But anyway, needless to say, we all show up and where we exhibit every year. And we couldn't go into this closed casino area, which is really cool. And it puts all the exhibitors into one area because Zack Snyder was filming Army of the Dead there.
I remember that.
Yes,
I remember that.
It pissed off a lot of people because some people got terrible placement because they put us all in the hallway, and we all got stuff in the hallway. I had great placement. I definitely saw a decrease in book sales because people were scattered throughout the hotel versus in one central area. So but anyway, that was our tie-in to Army of the Dead. And so I actually met one of the sound guys, and he came by and during a break in filming, and I said, give my book to Snyder. So I don't know if he ever did, but so I who knows, maybe I'll get a phone call one day.
Well, maybe you'll be seeing an extended version of your book.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, recouping some of the ideas about it. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but hopefully he did read it, and maybe he'll bring something out of it. But I'd be watching it. I'd be watching everything that he creates in this universe and seeing if it somehow mimics anything that you've written.
Well, I've had that happen actually, but that's for another show.
Oh my gosh. Now we're getting to it.
That would be another show. If we had another hour, I'm telling you, you want me to totally unload. You want to talk about something that has been.
I think we're gonna have to bring him on my show, Les, so we can totally unload.
Yeah, you're definitely going to talk about it on the Tingling Tea. You're definitely going to talk about it on that. Yeah, I can't wait to do this.
It's controversial. It's by someone that everybody knows, and they know what they did.
Dun, dun, dun. Don't you believe it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. So listen, you all, we're 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. This has been quite a pleasure. Neil, we will be having you, we'll extend that if anybody wants to hear the story that Neil is talking about. We are bringing him on the Tingling Tea, which is my show that I do on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about horror and all that, the like. Show off is going to be at your next appearance is going to be with the Urban Action Showcase in the virtual setting for their Kung Fu Kickoff, and with Urban Action Showcase. So please follow him there. And then Neil, you're going to be at
Awesome Con at the end of August. I'll be at New Jersey HorrorCon in September, but anyone can find me either at businessisdead.com, spelled out, or if they just go to EZZombie, that's E as in Edward, Z as in zebra, zombie.com, or follow me on any of the socials, Exit Zero Zombie. I have it across all, I've cornered the market at Exit Zero Zombie on all the socials.
Yeah, it's unique, and you can't miss it then if that's where it is. And you can find me on Sunday night on This Week in Pop Culture with Evolution Comics on Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then on Thursday night with the Tingling Tea at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and here every Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So with that, you all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, everybody. Please follow everybody. We bring these people on here so that you can get an introduction to these artists that are very, interesting and unique. Purchase their content. This is their livelihood. This is why we have this show, so that you can get an introduction to them and know about their work. And follow us here at the Bitten Apple TV on Facebook and Instagram. With that, have a wonderful Saturday, the rest of your weekend. Stay very warm because it's actually cold here on the East Coast. I don't know what happened to our summer, but yeah, it just disappeared. But we'll be seeing you next week here on Apple Bites. Take care.